Well, hello everybody, and as usual, welcome to Robert's train set. I'm in the conservatory. It's fairly warm at about 27 degrees, but it is cooling down a little bit, I must admit. So there's a lot to get through on this little bit, and it is basically an update, obviously, but some things have transpired. Today, when I'm making this, I should have had some friends staying for the last couple of days and going home today. So it got me all motivated to clean the house and do what you do when you have people staying. Unfortunately, I got a phone call a few days before they were due to come that unfortunately one of them had broken their arm, shoulder. And so they couldn't come, which was disappointing, but there we are. Let's hope the person gets well very quickly. So going on a health, what's the name? I got a letter and this came 7 weeks after my op on here, and not in so many words, but it basically says you haven't got cancer with it, so that's good. Why they just can't say that, I don't know, but they don't. Let's get rid of that one. So I think the next thing is this. So this parcel has literally just been delivered. I mean literally about a quarter of an hour ago. Delivered by driver number 201 on Parcel Force, and I'll show you what's in this later in the video. So keep tuned to find out what it is. Have I bought a new loco or new something else? Oh. So the majority of this video is going to be on this engine shed, isn't it? And the last time you saw it, it was here, but didn't have this plastic in it. So what I'm hoping to do with all these is that. Hope you can see that all right. So I want to make windows like that to all of these openings. So the normal way of doing these windows, I think most people probably use it, is, you know, these printed out graphics on a bit of clear plastic, but as you can probably work out, they're far too small for these. And yes, I probably could print some on my computer if I wanted to, but I'd rather do it the old-fashioned way, I think. So I have got some old plastic containers that things came in. And I've been keeping these, and you'll see a photo of all the bits that I kept. So I'm going to use those for these bits, as you can see. And the masking tape is so I can mark off where to cut them. Now these are all, at the moment, mostly too big. But if I tell you that all of these windows, every one of them is different, you can see slight problems, can't you, Ed? So I'm going to use the good old Weetabix box. So I've got a few of these, and I'm just going to literally make those. Now, this is my original one, and you might, if you looked at the one that I showed you that's in the building, you might sort of realise it's a bit thicker. There are reasons for that, but that's my original one that I cut. So that's what I've got to do. So there'll be a few photos, as I normally do, and a bit of commentary from me on how I've done these. It's been actually quite good. I was a bit dubious using the card, but yes, it's worked, and I think they look okay, really. Yeah. So let's get on and show you how I did these, and there's only so much I can show because it's basically the same, isn't it, on all of it. So I think at the end, hopefully, I'll get whatever's in there and my little 040 that came, and we'll just do a little bit of running on the layout here, because it is all connected, or it will do when I put the computer on it. So we'll see how we get on with that, shall we? So I hope you'll enjoy it. And next, we're I had a clear out, didn't I? Because I got friends coming, or I thought they were. So I was getting a bit fed up of everything everywhere, and I could hardly walk around. So I had to tidy up. Now, it remains to be seen whether when I want some of these things, I'll know where they are. So there's a load of boxes that I just thrown in here. So I've cut them all up into sheets, which we'll see a bit later on, or some of them anyway. And I even got my table clear. Amazing. So as you can see, I've got quite a bit more room now, so I can put stuff on there. I can have locos or carriages, whatever I want. And like all good model railways, all the stuff went under the layout. And nothing really there. It's a bit of the back scene left. And yeah, it's all there. Could be fun finding it, as I've said earlier, but we'll have to see how it works. So let's go on to doing these windows now. And there's all the bits of packaging I kept. I did have some sheets, so I've cut one of those up. And these are sort of the height. So I cut them all out and fitted them in. Now they're tight. If you have a look, you can see some of them are bent. That's because they're too wide. Most of them were all right in height. And that's what it looks like on the inside. And as I said, the masking tape was to mark them out. So you can see these, they're all bent and all over the place. So then using the serial package that I mentioned previously, I did a grid out. These grids are a bit wider than the windows are. And then I marked this out on one, as you can see, and the middle bits are about 1 mil wide, which, in reality would be 76 mil wide, which is a bit big for glazing bars, but never mind. I just sort of tried it to see how it's about it, isn't it? And then I use this as a template to mark out the others, and that's why they come up a bit thicker, I think, because you've got the pencil line. So then I black felted tipped them both sides and all around the edges, and I did the 4. And then using this high-tack glue again, this is the thin one, I stuck them onto the clear sheet. After they were stuck, and they stuck okay, I used these serrated scissors to sort of trim them into the opening, which worked very well actually. A lot easier than doing it with a knife, I think. And then pushed it into place and then put some of that glue around the edges to seal it in. So just a bit on how I do these. It's obviously fairly straightforward. To cut the openings out, I just run a very light score line between the cross braces to give your knife a guide for when you want to do this, which is basically go to the corners of each bit. And yes, it is really, really laborious, as you can see. And just cut right through with each cut, and the little score line that you put in before guides the knife. And then turn it round and do the other end. And that's really all you do on the whole thing. So I'm just going to do a bit of speeded up to show how laborious it is in the quickest possible time. And yes, you just literally just do each one like this, and then hopefully as I get to the last ones, that's a proper speed. A lot of them just push out, as you can see, but not all of them. It's just then a case of just finding out where they're still hitting, where you haven't actually cut right through. And yeah,
not a way everybody would choose to do their windows, I'm sure. But you know, for me, I enjoy doing this. You know, it's using simple card and using your own skills to do what you want to do. You know. So then, obviously, when you get them done, just cut them out from the bit, and I wouldn't cut them out until you have actually done all this cutting out, and then try and match them up so that they look reasonably the same. They'll never be dead the same, but you don't really notice. And then obviously black felt tip them or paint them, whichever you want. I thought the felt tip pen was lay a lot quicker and wouldn't make it all wet, which the paint might do. And this is what they look like, you know, when they're all stuck onto the cellophane. And it looks, you know, like a window would with the glass in the middle. And I think they look okay. There's a few gaps which I might fill up with a bit of black tack, to be honest. I would have thought maybe that would fill that black hole up, you know, that hole. So let's carry on and we'll see how we go, shall we? So there she is on the layout, looking okay, I think. And I did say, didn't I, that, and this is on the side you see mostly, but the other side looks a bit different because I tried to fill in the gaps, not with a black tack, but with some paint. This acrylic black, because it's all black inside. So if I show you the other side of the engine shed, which will be up against the back scene, is it a mess? Maybe. But some of the paint went through, so I had to sort of disguise it a bit. So I thought the seals wouldn't be particularly clean on an engine shed, especially where it was located. So I just did some of the black acrylic paint and sort of water and sort of made it look as though it had got a bit dirty. So next, we've got a returnee. Who's that? What's that? Yes, it's the Rapido 15XX, in this particular case 1501, which, if you remember, went away for repair. And Rivals of Sheffield received it on the 3rd of June and I got it back on the 15th of August, so quite a long time. But it wasn't all good news. There were bits missing, only one, just the steps at the back. So I glued that back up with the super glue and see if it would run. Initially, nothing happened. It was on number 6, which is what I had it set at when it went away. So after putting it on the programming track and putting 6 in it, did it work? So as this engine runs forwards, you can hear some funny sort of noises, which aren't the sounds. So what caused this, I wondered. I had to tidy up even with my wiring, and this is the control unit, and it's fed into the computer with this USB plug. And I passed this behind the unit that it sits all on, tidied up the cable and moulded it and wondered if this made any difference. Well, when the engine is sitting still, it just sounds like the steam. But as soon as it moves, you can hear the sound. So I must admit, I wondered whether it was just noise being transmitted through the layout. And it was, because with this, you can hear that it's not making that noise. You're just hearing the running part of it. So I took it up in the loft and ran it around, and it was fine there. So it's just this baseboard amplifies the sounds, I think. So no problems. So let's go to the end downstairs and have a little running session, shall we? Yeah, we'll do that. Well, we are on the end to end, but we're not having a running session yet because a few things have developed since I got to the point you just seen. So the signal box, while I was in the mood, I thought I'd better put a chimney in this. If you remember, it had no chimney, did it? So I just did a bit of card round. I've used a brick paper. I haven't got any of the paper that's on this signal box, but they wanted a red. They wanted a red brick down in the building, so that's why they use this. And I just made the chimney pot out of a bit of what's it name. I'm yet to paint the top. So then I thought I need to locate this engine shed, and I don't want to glue it down as I did with I didn't want to do with it. So I used some of this high tack. They were the templates that you saw there, and yeah, my Stella Artois beer boxes came into use again. So a couple of layers on the outside and just a single layer in between the tracks. Glued it all in, and yeah, it fits over and looks okay, I think. I mean, the gaps aren't great. I find it quite hard to do. Now, a bit of a disaster. I varnished this outside and sprayed it, and all the windows went opaque. So, oh dear. So this is the paint that I used to mix up the colour I've finally arrived at, which I'm not sure it is concrete, but there we are. It looks, whatever. Robert's train set. And this is the first coat, and it was drying when I took these. So perhaps now we can go on to the running session. So this is the first time I've run trains for quite a long time on either of these layouts, and I just thought I'd do a little bit of what I have. So hope you enjoy this. I'll come in from time to time. So this is for Jimmy. He wanted to see the 395. So it's a bit short, but it does work on here and it does fit. So there you are, sir. So if I can make myself heard above this very noisy engine, I did say it was old and new, so we just had the newest one with the 395, and now we've got this with the H1. So with all the passenger services out of the way for this morning, the freight now will start, and we'll do a little bit of bringing in and moving about and going out. And it's very nice to see the 15XX 1501 back from repair and running well. So I'm pleased with it now. Thank you. So let's put the newest acquisition to Robert Train Set, the Hawthorne Leslie 040 Henry by name, to work. So the engine driver sort of overshoots a bit here because he wants to get to uncouple. So move slowly forward and get it over the ramps and do a bit of a shuffle. So with having done its bit of work, goes back to the engine shed. So what's next? So the 15XX's next duty is to take the banana wagons that are parked up there out to a little bit further beyond the bridge. So with the banana wagons on their way outside, this is the end of the session, and I just thought you'd like to see all the trains sort of in my fiddle yard. So next will be the roof to the engine shed. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Cheers.